Hey guys, today we're doing something a little bit more special. I've got a 1150 GS from 2001 and a 1200 GS from 2004. We're going to look at the differences. This is an earlier generation, this is a more modern generation, even though it's still 16 years old. This is my personal one, and this is one my father picked up for a little bit of a project, maybe to take to Cape York in a couple of years. So first up, I think we're going to talk about weight. This is very subjective because some dealers or some companies won't talk to you about, for instance, they do say wet weight, but that might not include fuel, things that they find essential. So a lot of them actually wouldn't include the petrol side of things because they might have a really big tank and then they might not be as good as their competitor. So 2004 dry weight, it's 199 kilos. That's not too bad. Dry weight of the GS 1150 over here is 228 kilos. That's pretty substantial. My GS over here has a 20 litre tank, which can get me around town 300 to 400 kilometres, no problem at all. And the fuel tank on the 1150 over here, or 2001, is 22 litres. For an adventure bike, that's what I'd want. Horsepower on my GS is 98 to 100, maybe with an exhaust, about 100 horsepower. The 1150 is quite a drop at 85 horsepower and is substantially heavier. Now, I asked a few people what they'd want to know about these two different bikes, the difference between them I should say, and one of them was seat height. Everywhere I looked was 840mm lowest seat height for both. The 1200, you can adjust it by, I think it's about 20mm from low to high, and this current seat on here is actually aftermarket on the 1150, but its standard is 840, so it's the same as the GS when the GS came out. It's the same as this one. The 1200 seat goes up to about 860, I think. I've had the 1150 down on the ground and it's got to be 900 at least. I can barely touch the ground on it. I wouldn't want to ride it on anything off-road because I would drop it. The 1200s is about 6 litres per 100 kilometres, where the 1150 gets about 5.7. So very similar, but judging that the 1200 is a much lighter bike, a lot more power, I think it's safe to say the 1200 would beat it off the line, but that's not the point of these bikes. So I just watched all that footage back and I realised how boring as hell it was. So I'm still going to use it, but I might fill it in with a little bit of me riding around trying to do some static balancing on the GS. Before I go out there and do it, I really was thinking about doing a tutorial on how to ride over small objects on something as large as the GS. And if anyone would be interested in that, please let me know. I've rode trials bikes for quite a while, and I'm trying to transfer all those skills over to something like the GS. So maybe do a tutorial or two on how to do it, how to static balance and things like that, riding the clutch for instance. And here's me just riding around in the backyard having a bit of fun. I was just watching this footage of me riding around. I think there's a good teachable moment here. Where I've zoomed in, I just want you to see that I'm moving my weight around. Where I've zoomed in, you can see that I'm moving my hips forward and back, left and right, instead of moving the bike around. You can control yourself a lot easier than controlling the motorcycle. So if the bike's leaning across to the right, you can move your body weight and your hips across to the left. You can move yourself across to improve that centre of gravity and keep the bike up at slow speed.